Delay Hour here with Third Movement. I want to do a video with you guys. I want to do a drive time video. It's like 6 in the morning and I'm just getting off work and everything is amazing. I feel so good. I got a chance to do some to do some reading and news and everything, and I haven't did a news video in a while. I wanted actually to do one yesterday. Yesterday was Wednesday. Thursday, Tuesday. Phone just fell. I actually wanted to do one Tuesday, but I haven't did it in a while. But there's a story in the news where a pastor, I think Bell something Drake Bell. I don't know the pastor's name. But he came out and said that he said that he wasn't a pastor. If you see the little interview or whatever, but he came out and said that the church is moments away from accepting the homosexual marriage. Moments away from accepting homosexual marriage. And I looked at the video and everything, and then I just started to think about that and everything he said. And then reality hit me. The church has already accepted homosexual marriage. It just, we already allow. It's already in the church. I may be wrong in saying the church is already accepted, but it's already in the church. To me, if it's already in the church, then it's pretty much accepted. Like the gay individuals in the church is already here. So I don't want to rag on this dude, and I don't want to rag on homosexuals. I don't think, and personally, me personally, my belief is, if I say that I disagree with homosexual marriage, I don't think I'm ragging on homosexual people. But that's not what this video is about. What this video about is this, is the things that we let creep into the church. Think about all the things that we let creep in the church. So now when something like homosexual comes into the church, if you really look at it, this fight is not even, it haven't even been a full 8 years. And look how quick the homosexual marriage is said to be moments away from being in the church. It's already in the church, and basically this fight started in 2008. And if you really want to be a little bit more truthful about it, the fight didn't start. This whole homosexual push didn't start. The marriage really didn't start until 2010 when Obama pretty much okayed it. Right? But the purpose of this video is to say not so much to, here's the deal, the church has to do better. The church has to clean up itself. We don't need to work, we're too worried about what the world is doing. The church is too busy worrying about what's going on in the world. People in the world not getting gay marriage, and then not even looking at what's going on at home. Let's talk about what's going on at home in the church. Let's talk about how we don't say anything about the pastor that's sleeping with these little kids, but we'll say something about homosexual marriage. We don't say anything about these pastors sleeping with women in their congregation and women pastors sleeping with men in their congregation, but we'll say something about homosexual marriage. We don't say nothing about all these Christians coming up pregnant inside the church that don't have a ring on it, that's not married, but we'll say something about homosexual marriage. We don't say anything about the cohabitation that goes on in the church, but we'll say something about homosexual marriage. I am not saying that homosexual marriage is okay because we allow other sins. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the same passionate fight that we have for homosexuals or against homosexuality, we should have for these other sins. I can't be against one sin. I have to be against all sin. And no one sin is going to be justified because other sins are okay. The issue is not homosexuality. If you really look at it, the issue is the church not standing up for righteousness in every way. We can't be holy in some parts and then allow what we want to allow, right? We even justify it by saying, Sodom and Gomorrah was basically got destroyed for homosexuality. It was a lot more than homosexuality going on. Evil was rampant. When he destroyed the world with Noah, when he gave Noah salvation through the boat, it was more than homosexuality. It was the Bible said man's heart and every thought was evil. There was no separation. There was nothing to separate. God couldn't separate His people from the world. In Noah, and in Sodom and Gomorrah, God was unable to separate His people from those who was living in sin. I firmly believe that God is going to present His church to Him. Jesus said, "I'm gonna present my bride to me as a blameless, in a white gown that's not dirty, that's spotless." And He is gonna do that. But we cannot think that we can live and let certain sins slide. God is gonna clean up house. And He's gonna clean up all the homosexuals out of the church. He's gonna clean up all of the He's gonna clean up all of those who are living in fornication. He's gonna clean up all of those who are going to get other wives. Man, we have people that are married sleeping with each other in the church. We have people that are married sleeping with other couple wives and other couple husbands. Like that's going on in the church. It's bigger than homosexuality. I'm sorry. It's bigger than gay marriage. What's going on in the church is bigger than gay marriage and homosexuality. It is a straight, disrespectful, spitting God over sexual immorality. And that's the problem of the church, is sexual immorality. And we're not confronting that. We too busy trying to redefine what God is, or find other ways to bring the culture of God, instead of saying, okay, let's clean up the church. Like Jesus said it. Jesus said it. Don't take the plank out of somebody else's eye before you take it out of yours. There's an old song that said, don't sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. Man, the church front door has so much dust, has so much dirt, that we need to start sweeping around the front door of the church. And once we clean up the church and we actually live like Jesus, we will be able to go into the culture and see change. We're not seeing change in the culture, we're seeing change in the church. And the change that's happening in the church is the change that's happening that to look like the culture. So now, instead of seeing a change in the world of people becoming more righteous, we see that, okay, the church is minutes away from accepting homosexuality or homosexual marriage. Like Jesus said, be in the world but not of the world. Don't do the things that the world do. The world is supposed to be gay. They're supposed to accept gay. They're supposed to accept that as what they do, but we're not. We're too busy calling the world hypocrites, and then we end up being hypocrites. We have to clean up our own acts. We have to clean up sexual immorality as a whole. We have to start preaching to the kids, to those who are not married, that God created a standard, and that standard is holiness in every way, including in sex. So if you're not married, then you need to abstain from any physical form, any form of sex, whether it be pornography. Think about this though. Oh my goodness. The number of pastors in the church hooked on the porn is unfathomable. Like, wow. The problem is not so much homosexuality. The problem is immorality in the church, sexual immorality. If we had our sexual morality correct, then when it came down to homosexuality, we wouldn't have a waiver of some people saying, okay, let's accept it, and some people saying we don't. The problem is not so much gay marriage, which, I mean, as a Christian, God tells you, the Bible tells you that no homosexual has anything to do with the kingdom. Anything. The Bible clear that it's a sin. It's not just the Old Testament sin. It's in the Old and the New Testament. But what's also in the Old and New Testament is that we are to be have our sexual morality at a place where it's supposed to be, and that's righteousness. We can't expect the world to do better if we're not doing better. We have to do better for the world to do better. The Lace Howard Third Movement.